In the digital world, there exists a group of Digimon that journeying around the eastern digital world in order to achieve enlightenment. They are known as the Sanzomon's party. Sanzomon travels by imposing asceticism on itself to achieve enlightenment, admiring that and to seek answers to their own troubles. Gokuwmon, ChoHakkaimon, and Sagomon travel together with Sanzomon. The Sanzomon's party and the cameo characters such as Kinkakumon, Ginkakumon, and Shakamon are based on Journey to the West, one of the 4 great classical novels of Chinese literature. Journey to the West tells the tales of the monk Tang Sanzang on his quest to obtain the holy Buddhist scriptures from India, along with his disciples namely Sun Wukong, Zhu Beiji, Sha Wujing and Yulong, the dragon horse. Together they overcame 81 calamities and confrontations in the form of supernatural phenomena and monsters, before reaching their goal and returning to China with the texts. The story, in turn, is loosely based on an actual journey undertaken by the Chinese monk Xuanzang during the Tang dynasty in the 7th century across the desert wastes of Chinese Central Asia to India, to collect Buddhist texts for translation into Chinese. While these Digimon are modeled after Journey to the West characters, there exists disputable distinction to the referenced character settings. Specifically Sanzomon, ChoHakkaimon and Kinkakumon are reimagined as reverse gender of Tang Sanzang, Zhu Beiji and Jin Jiaodawang respectively. It all began with Sanzomon seek to journey around the digital world in order to achieve enlightenment. Sanzomon has learned that, in order to achieve enlightenment it will have to travel to overcome ordeals, and to confront Shakamon. While journeying, Sanzomon came across with Gokuwmon, who was reborn from within the boiling magma of Boot Volcano. Their Sanzomon became Gokuwmon's master and bestowed Gokuwmon the Kinkoji for its misbehaviors. Sanzomon has traveled, and overcame many difficult ordeals, and as training it imposes asceticism on its own body, day and night. Along the way, Sanzomon was admired and joined by its 3 disciples, namely Gokuwmon, who seeks to journey across the digital world to challenge formidable enemies and satiate the craving engraved inside of its heart. ChoHakkaimon, who wants to change its ferocious personality. It seeks to reform itself by going on a journey. And Sagomon, who is troubled by its identity and origin, so it went on a journey to discover the answer. The purified energy necessary to achieve enlightenment is accumulated in Sanzomon's Digicur, and it's rumored that if ever gained this will be released from every injury or terminal disease and acquire immortality, which draws in Digimon that are impelled by greed, and those chasing after it are numerous. Among those Digimon, with the gold and silver Oni brothers, Kinkakumon the big sister and Ginkakumon the little brother, which were part of the ordeals imposed by Shakamon. Here the Sanzomon's party, especially Gokuwmon, was tested for their resolution for enlightenment, through romance and brute force. The Sanzomon's party overcame ordeals, one after another, and managed to relinquish all their material desires, eventually reached Shakamon, who has been waiting for the arrival of the Sanzomon's party, that overcame the ordeals it has imposed. Their Sanzomon's party confronted against the illusion of Shakamon, and surpassed it to attain enlightenment at long last. Sanzomon is a perfect level monk type that has the vaccine attribute. It's unknown if it belongs to any specific field. It is the master of Gokuwmon, ChoHakkaimon and Sagomon. The name comes from Genshu Sanzu, the Japanese name for the character Tang Sanzang of the novel Journey to the West. Sanzomon, a monk Digimon that is journeying around the digital world in order to achieve enlightenment. It overcomes many difficult ordeals, and as training it imposes asceticism on its own body, day and night. Although Sanzomon doesn't carry any weapons at all, it unleashes various techniques by reciting sutras. It brings the hearts of wild Digimon back to their senses, by making them listen to endless words of gratitude, to Shishinkai. Sanzomon manifests the ordeals that it has suffered and showers them on the opponent, Kachimyu Kai. It displays an illusion that its scattered rosary beads are endlessly attacking from all directions, in order to crush their spirit, Mujin Damaku Shinkai, and so forth. The purified energy necessary to achieve enlightenment is accumulated in Sanzomon's Digicur, and it's rumored that if you steal this then you will be released from every injury or terminal disease and acquire immortality, which draws in Digimon that are impelled by greed, and those chasing after it are numerous. However, enemies are not the only ones who are drawn to Sanzomon, as there are also troubled Digimon with their own various issues. It is said that among those, there are also Digimon searching for answers and truth that adore Sanzomon and journey along with it. Gokuwmon is a perfect level beastman type that has the virus attribute. It's unknown if it belongs to any specific field. It is the first disciple of Sanzomon. The name comes from Son Goku, the Japanese name for the character Sun Wukong of the novel Journey to the West. Gokuwmon, a Digimon who was born from within the boiling magma of Boot Volcano, extracted data from numerous databases to serve as models in his pursuit of strength, becoming a combat Digimon that awakened to the combat instinct it was born with. Although it is journeying across the digital world to challenge formidable enemies and satiate the craving engraved inside of its heart, if it encounters an opponent that it judges to be strong, it will insolently request a battle, regardless of the situation. However, due to the Kinkoji which was placed on Gokuwmon's head by Sanzomon when it was born, its head will be constricted, and it will pass out if it swears to excess, so it reluctantly observes decorum. Gokuwmon is proficient in a large number of martial and magical arts, and since the knight Kinkaku in its hand is extensible, it can inflict strikes on enemies that are far away, and is also an all-purpose weapon that can fire a lightning cannon while connected, and fire lightning bullets as pistols when split in two. With its Higi Mutiny, in which it deftly handles the knight Kinkaku, and makes sport of the enemy with its acrobatic movements, it unleashes an attack of after-images that makes it look like the opponent is under attack by a horde of Gokuwmon. It can pierce the knight Kinkaku into the ground, and extend it upwards into a thundercloud in the sky, where it then runs up into the cloud, and accumulates the thunder energy within itself, and rams into the opponent like a bolt of thunder, Shipyu Jinryujiki. It can amplify, and fire the energy within the knight Kinkaku, agitating or cowed. Also, with its magical art Kintoon, in which it gathers clouds and flies through the sky, it is able to move through the air at high speed. ChoHakkaimon is a perfect level puppet type that has the data attribute. It's unknown if it belongs to any specific field. It is the second disciple of Sanzomon. The name comes from ChoHakkai, the Japanese name for the character Zhu of the novel Journey to the West. ChoHakkaimon, a feminine Digimon clothed in a pig costume. It was originally an angel species Digimon, but it committed a crime that incurred the wrath of a Phantomon and was banished from heaven, and that's when it took on its current appearance. As it is normally optimistic, it doesn't mind that it was changed into this appearance, and it has a very cheerful personality, but if it gets hungry it will be voracious enough to start getting all worked up, and it will take on a ferocious personality. If it becomes starved, it will go completely out of control. Its Hokkaido Dingpa weapon is equipped with boosters, and combined with ChoHakkaimon's superhuman strength, its power is tremendous. Its Kaishin Hammering, in which it swings the weapon with its acceleration at full throttle, blows the opponent into the distance. With its Tadata Minchi, it showers them in a high-speed barrage using the Hokkaido Dingpa, and crushes them appallingly flat. Also, if it embraces the opponent with its body, which has burst into flames from the fury of its hunger, then it will roast them well done with its Buta no Maraki. Because it wants to change its ferocious personality, it seeks to reform itself by going on a journey. Sagomon is a perfect level demon man type that has the virus attribute. It's unknown if it belongs to any specific field. It is the third disciple of Sanzomon. The name comes from Sagojo, the Japanese name for the character Sha Wujing of the novel Journey to the West. Sagomon, a demon man Digimon that was banished from the digital world's heaven and fell to the backwoods of North Bridge Island. Although it usually has a cheerful, joke-cracking personality, if it touches the skulls wrapped around its waist it goes into a fury like a raging fire. That is because, if even one of the 9 skulls wrapped around its waist is lost, it will be transformed into a terrifying Digimon. It possesses the Koyu staff, which demonstrates terrifying destructive power in the super heavyweight class. It spins it freely to raise a waterspout Koyu Kama no Jin, and strikes the ground with its staff to shatter it and release a raging current, Koyu Taki no Jin. Also, for close combat it can stab with the crescent moon-shaped blade, Jetsuga-zan. It is troubled by worrying, what am I? So it went on a journey to discover the answer. Sha Wujinman is a perfect level demon man type that has the virus attribute. It belongs to Deep Saber's field. It is the variation form of Sagomon. The name comes from Sha Wujin, a character from the novel Journey to the West. Sha Wujinman, a demon man Digimon banished from the digital world's heaven. Although it is a calm and collected Digimon, it is said that a certain Digiko was sealed among the 9 beads of its necklace, and if even one bead is lost, it will be transformed once again into a terrifying Digimon. Its special moves are raising a waterspout by freely spinning its astonishing super heavyweight class, Koyu staff, Koyu Kama no Jin, and striking the ground with its staff to shatter, and release a raging current, Koyu Taki no Jin. Also, for close combat it can stab with the crescent moon-shaped blade, Jetsuga-zan. Kinkakumon is an adult level Oni type that has the virus attribute. It's unknown if it belongs to any specific field. Along with Ginkakumon, they are the gold and silver Oni brothers, encountered by the Sanzomon's party. The name comes from Kinkaku, the Japanese name for the character Jinja Dawang of the novel Journey to the West. Kinkakumon, a rampaging girl that is feared as one of the gold and silver Oni brothers, alongside its little brother Ginkakumon. Since it's the type to rush headlong into a love affair, it's a romantic Digimon that will begin violently attacking if there's a Digimon it's interested in. In addition, because it is a thoughtless person prone to making silly mistakes and jumping to the wrong conclusion, if it falls in love with its opponent, then the misunderstanding will cause a ruckus. Because it has a confident personality but is naive in the ways of love, it strikes the opponent and sends them soaring if it's bashful, and strikes them dolefully if it's snubbed. So no matter how many lives the opponent it likes has, they are enough. Its special move is swinging its Shichusei Kanabu from overhead, and pulverizing the whole ground, Kibakuzu. Its Doki Doki Daku, in which it discharges a high-tension current from its whole body, is an all-purpose technique that excels in offense and defense. Its lightning speed, surprise kick technique Kraiku Kishu, conceals an electric shock in its foot, and has a paralyzing effect on the opponent. Ginkakumon is an adult-level Oni type that has the virus Saturbi. It's unknown if it belongs to any specific field. Along with Kinkakumon, they are the gold and silver Oni brothers encountered by the Sanzomon's party. The name comes from Ginkaku, the Japanese name for the character Yunjiao Dawang of the novel Journey to the West. Ginkakumon, a taciturn boy giant that is feared as one of the gold and silver Oni brothers alongside its big sister Kinkakumon. The beanie Hisago that it carries on its back is Kinkakumon's drink, and it's said that the inside is connected to somewhere in a different dimension, and that Digimon who are hurled to this different dimension are converted to alcohol. It is always worrying for its big sister Kinkakumon out of love. It warmly watches over even Kinkakumon's misbehavior, and if there is an unscrupulous fellow approaching its big sister, it throws them with enough power to shake a mountain. If Kinkakumon is aboard the cockpit in its abdomen, then Ginkakumon's power becomes as mighty as should be expected from a big sister and a little brother. Being boarded is secretly a happy time for Ginkakumon. Its special move is a breath attack that shoots a fireball from its mouth, Kienden, and firing off this Kienden, while stepping back from the opponent that has challenged it in close combat is its counter technique, Jyakuuchi Kienden. Also, its Ginkaku Taken is a ramming technique that capitalizes on its large build by lowering its back and charging to crush the opponent, and its Kinjin Raimujeki, which exposes the opponent to high voltage when Kinkakumon is aboard, further adds to that. Shakamon is an ultimate level Tathagata type that has the vaccine Naturbia. It's unknown if it belongs to any specific field. It is the overseer of the Sanzomon's party. The name comes from Shakanairai, Japanese name for the historical Buddha Shakyamuni. Shakamon, rumored to be the being closest to Yggdrasil in the digital world, Shakamon is the one that has protected the Eastern digital world since ancient times. It is a being replete with love, but it will occasionally impose an ordeal upon the digital world, in order to have it leap forward even further. Those ordeals are also Shakamon's love, and it is said that Shakamon is still waiting for the arrival of the Digimon that will overcome the ordeals. It is something meaningless to challenge Shakamon, who understands the underlying principles of heaven and earth. Even if someone challenges it to battle, they would just be endlessly fighting against an illusion on top of Shakamon's palm, so in the end both their mind and body are exhausted. With this Satori Henroshu, Shakamon enlightens them that conflict is meaningless. Also, it purifies and remedies evil by illuminating the opponent with a halo that cannot be shut out, even if they close their eyes. Ryakukumo no Ido, and its Taiju Shingen, crushes hostility with a thundering voice, knocking the opponent away beyond the horizon.